Hi folks, a very warm welcome to you. It's Nick here, and time for a bit of a catch up. I don't know if you're watching these in any kind of order, or you just picked on this one to watch in isolation, but there's a lot of reviewed games so far leading up to this one, so give it a look in the reviewed games playlist. But this particular video is zxspectrum, reviewed zxspectrum games on the channel so far, 901 through to 950. So let's get this show on the road. Starting this time with a game called HELLFIRE Attack. It takes the idea of Afterburner, but this time you're in a helicopter instead. It's rather jerky movement, but it's fun to play. It's not as bad as Afterburner in that respect. It gets a little bit confusing when you go upside down. The levels are fairly short, but you feel that you could actually win this one rather than get shut down every 2 seconds. But with my gameplay, I think I did anyway. Not a bad little game. HELLFIRE Attack. Black Sea Treasure Hunters. It's a homebrew with a nice melodic theme tune below. You control this sub. You must avoid the enemy subs and all the other nasties there. You're collecting treasure and essentially keys to escape the murky waters below. Fairly easy to get into. Puts in mind a little bit as Forward to the Future, Forward to the Past I mean, which was a good game as well. But yeah, well worth adding to your collection, this Black Sea Treasure Hunters. Death Chess 5000. Why play normal chess when you can play mean chess? A little bit different this. When you take a piece, you don't necessarily win. You then get chucked into a mini game, of which there are about 2 or 3 to my mind. So pure chess players might not like this one, but there is an option in the game to do normal chess anyway. Not to get confused with Death Chase. This is Death Chess 5000. If you're going to play a game to the death, why not it be chess? Looks quite basic, but quite fun. Kids sort of in a chess would have liked it. Narco Police. Great graphics in this one, although the gameplay isn't brilliant. You must stop the run of drugs in the future by running down tunnels and directing all your troops to blast everyone inside. As I say, it looks a graphical marvel, although the playability isn't quite there for me. The Spectrum is struggling, but having said that, the Amiga version isn't too great either. It stutters and it's a little bit slow. Narco Police. MANIC for Noobs. Another homebrew here. What the authors tried to do here is take the original screens from Manic Miner, a classic game, and try and make the easy ones, what's he thought, is a bit harder, and the harder ones a bit easier, to bring them all sort of like level with each other. And what you got here is a rather bold challenge. I like playing this. It's one of the better Manic Miner mods, on which there are absolutely loads. It's kept the original music in there, a few extra enemies and a few extra ledges there too. Some stages, I say, are a little bit too easy. ADIDAS Championship Soccer, or football. The Spectrum always struggles with football games. I didn't really feel in control of this, but graphically looks quite nice. Arguably, it could be said that if you put a lot of practice, you might get good at this. I think I lost about 10-0 or something. But anyway, I found it quite hard to pass the ball around, but you know, it looks quite good if you can get control of the thing. I don't like generally football games on the Spectrum, so maybe I was a little bit biased there. They're better in 16-bit land. Black Lamp, it's a platform and fantasy arcade adventure game. We must go around blasting absolutely everything, destroying dragons, but essentially finding loads of keys or black lamps or lamps in general and return them to a bookcase. It moves a little bit slow. The jumping is a bit weird. Not many people would have heard this one back in the day. Amiga version is actually atrocious, and this one is better than that. So if you want a basic adventure game, then this probably is the one for you to track down. Bubble Dizzy, one of the many side games from the Dizzy series. You must jump on bubbles to go up the screen. They will pop after a short space of time, and you'll come falling all the way down. Avoid the sea monsters, get to the surface, and it's on to the next level. We have to do the same thing again. The story is you went on a pirate ship in error. The pirate man pushed you off the plank and you sunk right to the bottom. But you know, you can get used to this one. It's frustrating and entertaining in equal measure. Come out on a number of systems. Dead or Alive, it's a western. It's over single stages. Rather tricky this one as well. You must kill enough people and avoid getting run over by a well-animated horse running across there. Watch your health. You can refuel that by going into the hotel or the saloon bar. But you know, it moves a little bit slow, but it's quite entertaining as well. I would have liked this one back in the day. It's the Wild West. There's a lot of Wild West games to play, and this is another one of them. Angels, Zosnia again doing what they do excellently. They've done a fight game here. You control either one or two characters, although you can alternate between the two. They're alien girls forced to fight crime on Earth, and why not? The colour is absolutely amazing, the sound is brilliant. You can't go up and down the screen though, it's a little bit of a problem, but apart from that it looks absolutely awesome. Zosnia really pushed the envelope every single time. I haven't seen a game I don't like from them as of yet. AUTOCRASH, a rather weird dodgems game. It's you against an alien. You must bash the alien out of their dodgem, and they try to bash you out of your dodgem. And then once you've done that, there's me getting bashed out. They'll try and run you over unless you can get to a replacement dodgem. You know, it's really weird. You only see these sort of games on the ZXspectrum, really, and I've got flattened there as I did a lot in that game. So weird. AUTOCRASH, and I auto-crashed a lot. Italian supercar, it's in the Super Stuntman series. Always puts me in mind of Lee Majors, but in this one you control a car. Yes, here we go, over different stages. An Italian supercar, in fact. You must avoid all the landmines. It's pretty tricky, but it scrolls really well. Good colour, no real colour clash about the place except when you go over a landmine like that. It takes a bit to get mastered. You've got several takes to do it because you are a stuntman and they're filming a film, the most dangerous film ever made, I think. Deep Core Raider, I absolutely love this homebrew. It's got inertia, so it's got some throwbacks to thrust, but essentially you must collect fuel and just descend down the planet's surface to collect all of this minerals, this ore, without getting blasted yourself. You know, be careful with your fuel, don't run out or it's Doomsville. Get shot and it's Doomsville as well. Lots and lots of stages, really well coded, controls really well, and the animation is absolutely sublime. I love this. Deep Core Raider, one of the best homebrews I think in years. Sky High Stuntman, again in that Super Stuntman series. I don't think this one is quite as good. What you got here is a shooter, I suppose, but it's fair in the gameplay it offers. Probably best to play with a Pokon, but again, you're a stuntman, you've got various scenes to film. I don't know what film this would be, but I don't think it'd be allowed under the Actors or Stuntman's Union. It's a dangerous set there. Few stages, you can be in a hot air balloon later on as well. International Karate, probably the sequel is much more famous than this, IK+, but this one isn't too bad. You have to get a certain amount of points against your opponent by kicking them in the nose and other areas of the body. If you do so, you then go to a different country. Here we are in Brazil, but there are other countries available. It's got pretty good speech on this. The guy in the background doing the scores has a rather unusual hairdo, but you know, back in the day this would have been rather cool, just seeing the size of the sprites and the moves available. Vampire Hunter Willy, another Jet Set Willy mod, but this one is done good. I do like the mods that have got a strong theme to it rather than just messing around with the screens ever so slightly. This is completely different. It's got new music to it as well. Here we are in the catacombs, but the idea is the same. Collect objects, don't get killed. They've reskinned all the enemies here, so if you're looking for a good Jet Set Willy mod, Vampire Hunter Willy is quite a nice one to check out, and we'll probably come to a few other ones in this roundup as well. Cobra Force, horizontal scroller helicopter action. Tricky at the most, although it looks quite easy here, in that to progress to the next stage you have to blow up absolutely everything. You can't just blow up a few things, everything needs to destroy. So all ground emplacements, all ceiling emplacements, if that's the name for them. Nice background with the dots, gives it a little bit of depth there, but yeah. It takes a while to master this game. Like all horizontal scrollers, it's a bit tricky, but not as tricky as R-Type. This is an odd one, Twister Mother of Charlotte. It's 3D as you can see. In this first stage we must collect 4 suits of playing cards. You see in the top left there we got diamonds and spades. If you collect the wrong item then you'll lose one of them, and then if you do this it goes to some sort of psychedelic running through tunnel sort of thing, which we're going to see quite now. Mother of Charlotte. Reminds me a little bit of Tron, really, the film, going up and down on the screens there. It's the same sort of thing again, we have to collect letters. Get Out of Mars, a really cool homebrew with a great soundtrack on it. You must collect keys to go through doors and essentially get the equipment to fix your ship so you can blast off on Mars, because you've been stranded there for some reason. Probably taken a wrong turn or dumped all your fuel in a black hole like a goddamn nincompoop. Hooray for you! Get Out of Mars. A lot of these games are available from Spectrum Computing if you want to try and track them down. Back to basics here with Devil Descent. This is by the same people that did C5 Clive, and boy does it show. You got this ship gradually descending through different screens, and you just manoeuvre it left and right without bumping into the scenery. It gets gradually more and more difficult there. Quite annoying sounds in this one. It does flicker a bit, as you could probably see there. But as a kid, if I could get it cheap enough, I would have given it a bit of play before I would have gone absolutely insane in the membranes. That's Devil's Descent. Happy Hour, this is a curio. I can't see why many parents would have bought this for kids unless they want them to grow up as an alcoholic. But you control Wobbly Wilf. He collects money in the street and must get to 12 pubs and have a pint in all of them in this bizarre pub crawl. He wobbles around as he gets more and more drunk, tripping over foxes and stray cats, and if he falls over too many times he'll get arrested by the police, and it's the end of the game. Beer's cheap in this era of gaming. Once you've done that, you have to return back to the right house and see the missus, who aren't very happy. Willy Meets the Beatles, another top-notch themed Jet Set Willy mod. It's got the music playing of Lady Madonna. There's lots of in-jokes here with the screen names and some of the enemies you're fighting. As you can see, Jet Set Willy's now got a Beatles haircut, and he's looking really groovy, baby, like Austin Powers. Yeah, if you're into the Beatles or even just Jet Set Willy mods in general, I'd chat this one down. I even prefer it more than Willy Vampire Hunter. Yay! There we go, there's Destructo, the island of Destructo. This is quite easy, this game, so I would have played it quite a bit, but basically you've got to shoot all these planes here. Some of them in the later stage, you bump into them, you will die. But anyway, once you shoot them, they will fall onto the ship below, and eventually that ship will sink. If you get to a certain level, you then get to the island, it must bomb the hell out of that. It's fairly easy to start off with, a gentle learning curve, and yeah, as I say, it's a classic game. The island of Dr. Destructo there. Back to Breakout, another sort of like curio over different sort of like stages, a bit like how Horace and the Spiders was sort of there. There we're defeating lasers. The next stage then we have to go through little obstacles firing down onto us. Then it's onto sort of like a maze network where we have to fill in gaps. Basically, I think robots have attacked the plant or something, and we've got to go in to rescue them. It's a bit of an odd game, but I would highly recommend that one. Factory Breakout. The Goblin, one of these tricky homebrews. What's good with this one is you collect beer and you kill all your enemies with burps, so that's going to appeal to kids. Once you burp the creature, you push them into these yellow gravestone things and they're dead. Any collision with the enemies and you're absolutely doomed. Some enemies, if you burp them too many times, they'll turn into a big evil thing, but a very, very addictive game with great music as well. There's so many good homebrews that have come out on the last few years, and this is another one of them. Dimension Destructors, playing with vectors. This has been great back in the day, come out at a similar time to Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, and it's heavily influenced by that as well. You're in this ship cockpit view, you've got certain shields like Star Wars, blow up the asteroids, and then sort of like some X-Wing things start coming at you, or TIE fighters, they look a bit like those. It's all about surviving as long as you possibly can. Shoot the right amount of stuff, and then it's on to the next wave of hideous space alien things. Not much of a storyline to this one, you're just being attacked for some reason. Rescue and Fractalus are really marvel in programming here and 3D. Your ship descends onto the planet. You'll see this amazing alien landscape there, come out on a number of systems, but you must track down your fallen compadres who crashed here, land, let them get in the airlock, close the airlock without killing them, and take off and get to the next one. Later levels will see the aliens firing at you with gun emplacements on various bits of the mountain. Really cool, clever game, this one. AKANE, it's homebrew time from the same people that gave us Ninja Poison. It follows that same sort of idea. Basically, your strength is always going down, and you can refill your strength by collecting antidotes every now and again. Basically, get to the end with your ninja guy. He fires these sort of like weird stars that get stuck sometimes. You have to go and collect them because you can only fire one at a time. Great music again, great invention on these games. That is AKANE. You might not have heard of this one, but yeah, look at the review of Ninja Poison as well. Mean Streak, it's like an isometric, futuristic motorbike game. Yeah, set in the future where the only sport available to people is riding round the city on these bikes, knocking the hell out of each other and firing missiles and avoiding big holes in the road. So if you're into that thing, the future's going to be great. A little bit tricky. But, you know, it would have kept me entertained enough back in the day because it's on motorbikes, it's animated quite well. It's all in monochrome, but you do have that radar dish below to see where you are going. Wild Streets, really poor 2D horizontal fighter, only because it's so slow and the animation is, well, pathetic. If you compare it with Angels, which admittedly come a bit later on, that's doing much better than this thing is doing. It's not wild, well, the backgrounds are great, maybe they're too busy. Is it that wild? No, it's like pedestrian park here. Yeah, you got a panther to help you, but he never seems that particularly interested and rather just walk around and see the scenery. CYCLUS, a puzzle homebrew here. You must guide this snail to the exit point by putting these blocks on platforms down. Bump into spikes, you're doomed, and bump into the nasties, you're also doomed. Really sort of like a clever game. There's two parts to this game as well, side 1 and side 2. Side 2 has you sort of like a game like an inertia game really, where you're trying to collect coins and avoiding getting bopped again. But you know, I like this. It's a very, very good one. That is CYCLUS. Super Tank Simulator, a little bit tricky, but the subject matter would appeal to me. Codemasters did like their simulator and professional stuff put on, but go up the screen in this vertical scroller, destroy all the emplacements there, and get to the top. I think there's like a baddie or a fortress at the end. Bullets can bounce in this one, and then it's on to the next one. I think there's about 4 or 6 sectors, I believe, so there's a little bit of tactics here involved in trying to get through. Tank Simulator, hooray! Quackers, this is a conversion or influence from Carnival from the arcades. Basically, shoot all the stuff, you know this already, don't you? Shoot all the things before your time runs out. As you can see, the red bar going from right to left, gradually depleting. If you do that, you get to attack some sort of crazy turtle thing, and you get bonus points for each time you shoot the hell out of him. Hopefully, you got quite well paid for being in the game. It's a large turtle, and it's well worth getting to. That's Quackers, based on the noise of a duck. Skate Alice, a rather tricky game, this one. Reminds you a little bit of a speeded up Flappy Birds. By going up and down, you just go through these columns, avoid enemies as well. Takes a bit of getting used to. Your first few goes would be extremely brief. There we go. But I didn't do too badly on the thing. It's got cracking music, but I've had to turn it off due to possibly copyright claims, but there we go. It's nice. You're on a hoverboard like Back to the Future 2, I suppose. Go, Alice, go. Discs of Death, another one of those future game curios. The animation is good, but it's very, very difficult. I'm down the bottom here, and I'm trying to aim a disc of death and kill my opponent. It's not 100% accurate at all times, but you know, you'll get a bit of a distance. It's one of those really, really weird games that maybe a friend ran their house that you never had any intention of buying and might have actually copied. Basically, we're being challenged by aliens to be the champion of the disc thrower universe. You're probably best to have a cup of tea instead. Pro Powerboat Simulator. What I like about this game is it's really easy to get into. It's not like your bog standard shooter. This boat, you've got a choice of 2 boats. You can drop bombs below, avoid the rowing team there. But again, it's avoid obstacles, get to the end as quickly as you can. Nice ripple effect behind the boat. Plays really well. Come out on the Commodore Amiga as well, which we've also reviewed. Watch you don't go up the wrong ramp, because then you could jump up that and land on dry land. The level's just about the right size. Space Junk, I found this really, really awkward. Basically, you're controlling this robot, must shoot all these mines that have been left behind by aliens, I think. But sometimes it's a bit hard to point in the right direction to shoot the ones you want. Yes, it's worth having a go on it. It's clever, but not one of my favourite ones. That Space Junk, great soundtrack, great music. If I get used to the way the thing turns, there I am going facing the wrong way, not really working out why, then it'll be better. Winged Warlords, conversion of Joust from the arcades. Basically a really funny game. You control this winged horse, and you must knock all the other people off their horse with your jousting stick, and you do that by landing on them. If they land on you, then it's Doomsville. Once you do that, they'll turn into an egg. Collect that egg before they turn into someone a bit more evil. Winged Warlords, yeah, classic game really of Joust. I don't think Joust in its own name come out on the ZXspectrum. There we go. International Kickboxing. This was released really late on the And the Spectrum's run, only released as a cover disc. It's influenced by Panzer Kickboxing on the Commodore Amiga. Lots and lots of different moves here. A bit weedy on the old sound front. There's not too many opponents. It's always the same one called Dan. But from a it feels a bit like a tech demo. But from that point of view, it's good. And, you know, the animation is nice too. If it came out a bit earlier, it would have been a bit more successful. It doesn't feel quite finished from my mind. Dirty Dozer by the same people that gave us CYCLUS. In this one, similar sort of idea, but this time you're pushing a block from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen. You must not die, and you must not get the block stuck there. So you have to really plot your path well. I'll get it to the end a bit. I prefer it to CYCLUS, but both of them are awesome games, well worth checking out. It's obvious that Dirty Dozer was influenced by CYCLUS there. Yeah, similar slight colour scheme to this, and Space Junk, which I think was also by the same author. Brain Damage, don't know why it's called Brain Damage, but it's a tactical tank game in a maze. What's difficult about this game is, as well as doing your controls around the maze, you must control your turret to face the right direction and shoot your opponent. Later levels will have more tanks and other enemies that come out if you take too long. There's bonus points as well, but yeah, there we go, I've blasted him there, and it's on to the next stage. Brain Damage, once you get used to it, it is a fairly addictive game, but watch out for the computer and their walk gates, they get gradually trickier. F-16 fighting Falcon, I prefer that Hellfire attack to this one. Again, like Afterburner, is very, very tricky. The frame rate isn't brilliant, and I do feel like my success rate is quite random. But anyway, it would have done okay. For a few minutes there. I wouldn't like to pay any serious money for it. It's over 4 different terrains. The ice one is a bit comical because instead of tank emplacements, there's Inuits or Eskimos going fishing. Why, I do not know. Chopper Defense, another really, really cool homebrew. Look at the animation on that propeller. It looks absolutely awesome there. Yeah, definitely track this one down. You've got to rescue downed pilots. They're parachuting to safety. Take them to the little house. Blow up all the aliens and then get on the central landing pad again to get to the next stage. Really, really addictive there. Although it's a homebrew, it catches all the excitement, and it does feel like a retro game. Highly, highly recommended. Chopper Defense. Bounces, another very odd future game. We're knights connected to a little bit of elastic, yes really, and we score points by catching the ball and firing it into holes in the ceiling and knocking over our opponent as well. It's over 2 halves, score as many points as you can. Can you imagine doing this in real life? Well, you must be a lot crazier than I am. Why is it called Bounces? I do not know. They probably could have thought of a more engaging name, but here it is, Bounces. Didn't come out on any other system that I'm aware of, but if you know different, then comment in the comment section below. Freedom Fighter, great speech on this. Shame about the gameplay. It's just way, way too difficult. As well as the enemies firing at you down the screen, you got to stop these white concussion bombs. If they get to the bottom of the screen, you are doomed. Every so often, if you're good enough, you'll see an end of level boss, which takes a hell of a bit of a shooting. Here he is now, the flagship Zemoloid. Well, I don't think many kids would have stayed with this. It's almost as if the authors thought, oh, the speech is quite good. That's good enough for the whole game, and then yeah, didn't bother with the rest of the thing. It doesn't play good. Techno Alice does help if you can talk Russian in this, or at least understand it. It's the precursor to Skate Alice, but the 2 games aren't connected in any way. It's like a bizarre version of Alice in Wonderland. Solve clues by picking up objects, don't drown, take them to the right place. There's an umbrella for gliding over stuff, and solve that. But if you can't speak Russian, then you're going to struggle and just try and complete it by random, which I sort of like did in the review. Go Techno Alice, but moves quite well though. They mentioned St. Bernard, probably a stinker. You control this St. Bernard who must rescue his mistress from the abominable snowman. Why? I don't know why he's stolen her, but I'm on the abominable snowman's side here. It's over like 3 stages which repeat themselves. Here's the first exciting one where I'm just turning around, scaring off or killing wolves. The next one we're jumping over walruses, and then it's on a Donkey Kong type stage, jumping over snowballs, then to attack the abominable snowman at the top. There we go. Yeah, one to be avoided there. I don't know what's going on. But, Park Patrol. You control a park ranger. You've got an option of a male park ranger or a female one, but the idea is the same in either, guys. Going on land and in the river, you must clear up rubbish left by, well, nincompoops who litter louds, basically. Avoid the enemies in the sea and the land, and then you on to the next stage. It's not particularly exciting. I'm told the Commodore 64 version moves a bit quicker, so I might have to have a look at that at some point. Really cool racer from Zozia, RUBINHO, CUCARACHA. frame rate is brilliant. You've got to qualify in a certain position across Europe. Overtaking isn't easy. If you do qualify in the position on one race, then you're on to the next one. Some of the other enemies will have weapons to try and hit you with, and in particular teacups to throw at you. But that's all a part of 50s Formula 1 racing. Highly recommend this one. Track it down. Very, very addictive, trying to get to the next stage. The Magic Roundabout, is this a stinker? Maybe. You control this dog called Dougal, who's moving sugar lumps around to try and build a house. Yes, really. Your energy would go down, represented by the sugar on the right, but you can eat sugar to up your strength. Obviously aimed at younger gamers, but I don't think they even would have liked it. I mean, the Magic Roundabout was a weird show in general. What's going on here? I do not know. This was a good game to end out, I think. So there we go. So I hope you enjoy looking at that reverie. If you liked any of those clips, then please check out the full review of them. That was the ZXspectrum games 901 to 950. Next stop will be 1,000, and that'd be absolutely amazing if I can get to there. So thank you for watching. As I say, if you've got any comments on any of those, then please put that below. You're always more than welcome. Thank you for supporting the channel. Big thank you to the subscribers, and in particular the members. Until next time, take great care of yourself and are very fond. Goodbye.
Goodbye.